The king in the north! The king in the north!
Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So I asked y'all to drop more questions. Y'all did, so let go. So first question from Rob Mella 6692. He says, best way to scheme Donovan and Blake together on the field, and will Harbaugh finally let JJ pull and take off with the ball in meaningful games? Felt like he should have been running all game against TCU. To me, the best way to scheme both of them up is either have two back sets, of course, and then either motion Donovan into a receiver. You know what I'm saying? Come out of the backfield and go out wide or in the slot. That's one way. Another way is also, plays to the flats, have Donovan on a wheel route out of the backfield, send Blake to the flat or on a screen. And then you also can, and this is what I would like to see, both of them in the backfield and handing it off to one of them, making the dual backs in the shotgun. So you got Blake here, you got Donovan over here, and, hand it off to either one of them. And also play actions and play fakes with them both in the backfield. To me, that could open up a lot of things because you don't know who they're going to hand it off to. Or the defense is going to be saying, oh, these guys, they got both of them on the field. Something's going to them, or they're going to run it. You know what I'm saying? They got both of them out there, and they're both in the backfield. They're going to run this, So, to me, it's the dual sets. You have them both in there sometimes. I wouldn't say too much, but definitely their ways. It's just, do they want to take the time and practice to iron out the kinks of those sets with both of them being out there? What's the focus, and, what are we really trying to accomplish? But you got to have somebody with a creative mindset with play calling to, want to do that and take that extra practice time to get that done. But knowing Harbaugh, he normally just has one of them on the field. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to run Blake, and then, Donovan's going to get his carry, so both of them are fresh. I think Harbaugh is more worried about having both of the backs fresh. I think that's more of what he's concerned about. I got two stud backs, and they're both fresh. When one of them's tired, Donovan comes in. Donovan's tired, here comes Blake. So you're keeping that high level of talent on the field at all times. Now with Will Harbaugh let JJ run it more? Let's hope he does. Now, and we're talking about meaningful games. Penn State, Ohio State, Big Ten championship, playoff, maybe Michigan State, maybe you might not need him to run against them. But big-time games. I hope he would, but that's not a guarantee. Now, the one thing that's on the upside is JJ's put on weight. They say JJ's put on 15 pounds of muscle. So now he can take some more of those hits, but, they don't want to get him hurt. And Harbaugh has always been like this since he's been at Michigan. He doesn't really, he waits a long time to call QB runs and to let the quarterback keep it on the read and things like that. A lot of the times we think it's the read, but it's just he's just running out the fake. It wasn't an actual read. So hopefully they do, because they leave a lot of plays on the field because they'll just keep calling that that play that looks like a read and it's not. But if he does actually keep it, there's tons of yardage because the DN is usually crashing and we're just not going to it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they let him do that a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? When they need it in meaningful games, because we got away with it last year, starting a little slow, not running JJ, and then second half we take off, defense puts the clamps on teams, but you don't get away with that all the time. Just like when we played TCU, they didn't want to run him really at first. Okay, we're down now. Uh-oh. Big time games, you run that quarterback from the start to create confusion. Like, oh yeah, you stopping this, but oh, there goes the quarterback. It gives the defense that much more to prepare for. And sometimes it's hard to prepare for that, especially if it's off script or it's just you're going against a team that runs it extremely well and you're designing great plays for the quarterback to keep it on. So they definitely need to in meaningful games. I ain't saying against garbage teams running, and I know that's not what you're saying either. But in those meaningful games, especially if we make it to the playoff, it's win or go home. We can't worry about him getting hurt. You run that quarterback. That's part of what makes him J.J. McCarthy. He's a dual threat. He can run that rock. Let him run it. So that's that. So to answer the question, they need to. Not sure if they will. My fingers are crossed that they will in meaningful games run JJ. Let's see. Joseph Xtail. Appreciate the comment. He says, even though Mozzie is gone, do you think through development that the D-line could be better this year? Big fan of the channel. Appreciate that, bro. The D-line possibly could be better. They deep and they got some dogs. So let's see. You got I'll just start with the interior. You got Chris Jenkins, you got Mason Graham, you got Rashawn Benny, you got Kenneth Grant. That's 4 right there. You got Cam Goody. So you got five D tackles right there that are all serviceable. Chris Jenkins, Graham, Rashawn Benny, Kenneth Grant. Those dudes could start on a lot of teams. So you got dudes that could probably start for other teams coming off the bench. So the interior D-line should be fresh. Unless injuries happen. But for the most part, they're fresh and they're deep. Now on the edge, you got Derek Moore, who looked like he took the jump in spring practice. I mean, at the spring game, he was looking good. Derek Moore, Jalen Harrell. Been in the system, young guy. I mean, what is he, a junior now? Should be progressing. McGregor finally got rolling last year a little bit. Let's hope he had a good, healthy offseason. Improvement. There you go. Now, the guy that I'm looking for to take this D-line to the next level, or that edge, the pass rush, is Isaiah Stewart, the transfer. He looks like he might be that dude. And when I say that, it's about, one, your body has to be, your football, and this is any sport, your body has to be in great shape. You have to have your body in the best shape that it can be so you can maximize what your body can do. So you can take what it could do and you maximize it, take it up another notch because you're getting bigger, stronger, faster. He looks like his body is there and it looks like he knows how to get to the quarterback. So he's got them both. He's looking like he could be that dude. So I'm looking for him to really get that pressure like Ojabo or I wouldn't say Aiden because Aiden was an every down kind of player, but more like an Ojabo, like, all right, it's third down or it's a passing down. I'm coming. Yeah, you got to worry about Aiden. You know him. You about to know me. Oh, y'all know him? Get ready to know me. That's what I think he might be on the verge of being able to do this year, so we can get that consistent pass rush against good competition. We would get it. Last year we got it against bad and mediocre and okay competition. But once when we played Ohio State, we didn't get a pass rush. Illinois, we didn't really get a pass rush. And TCU, pass rush was non-existent. We had to blitz. So that's that. Hopefully those. But the D-line as a whole, they're going to be that. It's just I don't see teams being able to run on us this year. Pretty much like last year, teams really couldn't run on us. It was just a few teams. But this year, I think they won't be able to run, and I think we're going to have a consistent pass rush where we don't have to blitz. Fingers crossed, but that's just what I'm thinking with Derek Moore growing up a little bit, Jalen Harold McGregor, and Isaiah Stewart. I think he's going to be that dude. Let's see. Cool Moet says, and this goes into your question, do you believe our defensive line will have the ability to create pressure against offensive lines like Georgia and Alabama? If we make the playoff this year, more than likely we'll have to see either one of them or both of them. I believe teams will have a major advantage at the skill positions and wouldn't recommend leaving our secondary on the island. That means outstanding defensive line play against 4- and 5-star talented offensive linemen. Yeah, so basically what I was just saying for the comment before, we're going to find that out. That's something we're going to have to find out because the players that we're going to be counting on to give that consistent pass rush, Isaiah Stewart, transfer, we don't know if he's going to be able to do it at this level. Spring game, he looked good, so we'll see. I think he will be. Derek Moore, they're going to be counting on him to get that good pass rush. We don't know. He played a little bit last year, so we don't know how much he's gotten better, if he has gotten better. We have to see, honestly. I'm going to keep it real. We got to see. Jalen Harold, McGregor, they had about 5 sacks put together last year. So those guys are serviceable, but they're not the guys that you're going to be counting on consistently to create a pass rush. So we're going to have to find out if Derek Moore and Stewart are dogs like that. And also if Rashawn Benny and Chris Jenkins can the interior also create a pass rush consistently. I know they can stop the run, and I know Chris Jenkins can get to the pass rusher, but it's about, can get to the quarterback. It's going to be about, can those other guys, when he's not in there, can Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant and Rashawn Benny, can they create help with the pass rush? So when Derek Moore, or McGregor, or Jalen Harold is coming around the edge and the quarterback tries to step up, is Mason Graham going to be waiting there for him? Is Kenneth Grant going to be there? Is Rashawn Benny going to be waiting for him? Creating havoc as a whole, not just on the ends, but creating havoc as a whole defensive line unit. And one thing I'll say about Rashawn Benny can move for a big dude. This dude gets downfield. So I'm kind of expecting big things out of Rashawn Benny. The way he moves and runs like sideline to sideline and chasing dudes. This dude can move. And I've noticed that in the spring game and a little bit last year when he was in at certain times. Rashawn Benny might be something serious. If he plays like that consistently, chasing just a nose for the ball, I'm going to get there. So we're going to have to find out, though. Can that defensive line get pressure on anybody? Because they couldn't last year, and it bit us in the butt again in the playoff. It just did. We couldn't get pressure on Max Duggan, and that's what we had to blitz, and that's what led to a lot of those touchdowns. We had the blitz. He was backpedaling, buying extra time so he could make those little throws. And it burnt us because we're blitzing, so we don't have as many guys in coverage. So that's the thing. So we're going to have to find out if they can do that, because it's not like these are guys returning. They're either young guys or they're transfer guys or they're guys that we know don't rush the passer that well. But you put the work in, who knows how good you can be. So all those guys, we got to see if McGregor, healthy, did he take a jump? Jalen Harrell, junior year, has it clicked? Is you putting that work in? Is you doing your film work? Did he take a jump? Isaiah Stewart, we'll find out. He ain't been playing in a conference like this. Let's see if he's ready for the big time. And Derek Moore, sophomore year. You played a little bit last year. Did you make a sophomore jump? Or did you stay the same? So we got to find out. But the defense as a whole, defense gonna be good. But that defensive line takes that jump. Could be a championship. And I ain't talking about just no Big Ten championship, national. If that D-line takes that jump. Let's see. Jim Harbaugh, 52, appreciate the comment. He says, how do you think USC/UCLA will be introduced to the Big Ten? Do you see them asserting quick dominance, or do you think they'll be smacked around their first few years in the conference, Nebraska style, which is what I'd prefer? I think they're gonna smack. I think they're gonna smack a lot of these lower level teams. But the higher, the mid level and upper tier of the Big Ten, I think they're gonna struggle with some, because the Big Ten plays defense. The Big Ten is it's known for defense. Like in UCLA and USC, they don't really play much defense. USC, they don't really play none. So that's the thing. You got a tough team like Utah kind of plays. Utah smacked them up. Utah plays a Big Ten style of play. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. They got all these great offenses, but when you play defense, you're gonna slow a team down some. But can your defense slow what we're trying to do down? So I think they're gonna smack them low level teams, but once they get to the mid level Big Ten teams and then the upper echelon of the Big Ten, I think they're gonna get smacked around some. Honestly, depending on the schedule, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you get a favorable schedule and you ain't playing Michigan State, Penn State, and Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State in these teams. You know what I'm saying? Or Iowa, who can sneak up on you sometimes, or you know. But I think they're gonna do all right because they got talent. They got talent. Talent takes you a long way in college football. You know what I'm saying? Talent takes you a long way. But then once you get to a level with teams with similar talent, all right, now let's see what you about. Is you playing defense? Are you running the ball? Can you run the ball consistently? Makes a difference. So let's hope that. But that's what I think. That's when I first heard. That's what I was thinking. Honestly, they got some talent, but they don't play no defense really. So that's the thing. Let's see. Ruko Tomo says, when Michigan is passing the ball an average of 15 times over the first 4 games, but winning by an average of 21 points, how crazy is the fan outrage going to be? It's going to be we going to be complaining, and I'm going to say we because, I'm probably going to get on here and complain some too. But the complaining is, you got to take the complaining for what it is. We're not complaining that we're winning. The complaining is you need to get that pass game clicking just as much as you need to get the run game clicking. That's where the complaining comes from, because when you get to the upper echelon teams, they're going to slow that run game down, or they might stop the run game. And JJ is going to be on JJ. So it makes, we're just fans, so it makes the fan base feel a little better that, JJ threw for 400 against whoever. His pass game looking good. Okay. I feel comfortable if JJ has to go out and throw for 425. I feel comfortable. Okay, I'm seeing him do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it comes from. Is as fans, we want to know that we're prepared to play any type of way. Not if, okay, we can't run it. Oh boy, we're probably gonna lose. That's what we don't want to feel like. You know what I'm saying? So as fans, we want to feel comfortable that, okay, we know we can run it, but what if they stop the run? If they stop the run, we want to know JJ can slang that thing for 450 if he has to, and not throw 2 or 3 picks while he does it. You know what I'm saying? Because we just saw what happened against TCU. We saw. We couldn't run it. We had to put it on JJ. 2 picks. We might have could have got away if they were just 2 interceptions, but they were pick sixes. So that's where the complaining comes from, because we want to know that we're prepared, that Michigan on offense is prepared and can beat you with the run game or the pass games. We want to know that those receivers, that offensive line, and JJ are prepared and ready to go to beat whoever. So that's, fans going to be complaining. I'll probably complain a little bit. It's because we're looking for the future when we have to play those tougher teams. And if we make the playoff, we know we're going to play somebody tough, and we know they're going to put a lot of guys in the box and force JJ to beat them. It's just a fact. So, yeah, it's going to be some complaining. Long story short, it's going to be some complaining. Let me put my hand up, because I'm going to be talking about it a little bit too. I try to not get too overboard with it, but, when you looking ahead, you're going to need that pass game. You're going to need it. Get it ready. Get it ready early. You don't want to wait. All right, let's see. Who are our starting wide receivers for the season? Appreciate the comment, Alex Heron Jr. You got you got Cornelius, you got Roman. At that third receiver, honestly, this is just my take on it from what I've seen. Honestly, in 2 receiver sets, I probably go with Roman and Cornelius. But at that third receiver, this is just from what I saw, I'd probably move Roman to the slot, and I'd throw Peyton O'Leary out there. I'm sorry. The way he was working on Amari and Walker, dude looked like an NFL receiver. That's just me. When I just go off what I see. He was looking like he was ready for the NFL. So, hey, that's just what I put Peyton O'Leary out there out wide. If I can throw back shoulder throws to him consistently like that. The timing was, let's be real. You watch the spring game, the timing on that was looking like Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison or something. Am I making it up or what? I was like, what? Who is this guy? Put him on the outside. So that's who I would have as the third receiver, and then Darius Clemens, and then the other kid's name, I forgot his name, Tyler Morris. I haven't seen much from him. I've seen Peyton O'Leary put that work on Amari Walker. I'm sorry. He putting that work on him. He put that work on him. So that's just, those are the receivers though. You know what I'm saying? Cornelius, Roman, we'll see who that third one is. We don't know who it'll be since AJ Henning transferred and Adrian what's his name? I can't think of his name. The other Andrell Anthony. He transferred, so I'm not sure who that third one will be. None of these guys have done anything. Tyler Morris, Darius Clemming, Peyton O'Leary. None of them have done anything. So I can't say for sure who that guy should be. Darius Clemens looks like David Boston or something. This dude is a beast. But didn't do anything in the spring game. Didn't really do anything last year during the season. So I can't say he looks the part. He looks like he's going to be a beast, but has it clicked? Is everything put together and on the same page? I haven't seen it. I've seen Peyton O'Leary put in that work. I don't care if it was a spring game. He doing some work. So that's just what I see. I'd go Peyton O'Leary, Darius Clemens, and then Tyler Morris as the backups. Let's see. Who is the player that will surprise fans this year in a good and bad way? To me, it's Isaiah Stewart, the transfer edge rusher. I think he's gonna surprise people, because when guys transfer from other places, I think people don't really buy into it at first when they come from like smaller schools. But I think this dude's gonna be a beast. So that's who I got that's going to surprise people, and people are going to be like, whoa, who is this dude? I think he's going to surprise people. In a bad way, I don't know about anybody in a bad way. I don't really know of anybody in a bad way is going to surprise people. I mean, if they're not Michigan fans, it's Isaiah Stewart, and I think McBurrows. I think McBurrows is gonna start. I think he's gonna surprise people, because dude will lay that wood. And I was listening to he done slipped my mind. Rod Moore. I was listening to Rod Moore, and he says McBurrows will lay that wood on dudes. And that's something we're missing. We've been missing for the last few years, is a physical presence. You need some dudes to hit. We need some dudes that can hit. And so McBurrows being out there, if he's the starting corner, I think he's going to surprise people too. In a bad way, I don't know. In a bad way. I don't want to think about that right now. I don't want to think about nobody playing bad right now. Let's see. Got Ronnie Bravo. He says, why do Buckeye content creators think Blake Corum is some slow, one-dimensional back like Mayan? Do they not know he's called Lightning for a reason and runs an electric time 4.4? That's because the reason they say that is because they're not fans of the team, so they don't watch every game, the whole game like we do. Like, we watch the whole Michigan game, every game, blowout, whatever. We watching it from beginning to end. So we know how Blake gets down. See, what they see is, because last year at first we didn't get a lot of long runs. It was a lot of Blake just getting 5, 6, 10, 2, 15, 25, 4, 6, 7, 9, 12. It was a lot of that. A lot of just getting 5 and more, or 10, 12, 15, 20. It was a lot of that. So they see him just being that every down back that can't take it to the house. But if you pay attention, you'll see, even last year, took it to the house like 60 or 70 on Penn State. Blake can get down on you. It's just he's become a every down back. So when you're an every down back, every run ain't going to be 60 and 70 yards. That's just not how it gets down. Now, he probably lost a step to where Donovan is probably faster than him at this point. But, and I was listening to Menace to Sports. I know this is what you're talking about because I was listening to that video. They think Menace to Sports thinks Donovan Edwards is a better back than Blake. Until that's proven, he's not. He's just not. Blake, now he's got big play potential at this point because Blake gained weight to be a every down back, and Donovan is kind of the same size as he was. He still got that, so he still got his speed like we know him to have. Blake probably lost a little bit since he gained so much weight on his explosiveness and quickness, but he's a every down back. He's a 1st and 10, and he's a 3rd and 2. Donovan struggles with that. Donovan struggles with short yardage because he runs a little bit too high. So he struggles with that. Blake is an every down back. He's a complete back. Blake would burn you. His vision last year was ridiculous. His short yard game was on point. He could still take it 60. His make guys miss, awesome. Blake is complete at this point. Now Donovan, that's not say Donovan isn't a beast, but he's not a complete back like Blake is. He's just not yet. So I don't know. And that's how you know they just watch highlights, because even Zach and Donovan's the better back than Blake. Probably should have left. Harbaugh probably wanted Blake to leave because he wanted Donovan to be the full-time back. That's just because they don't pay attention. They don't really watch us like that. Because Harbaugh told him that because Harbaugh wants what's best for Blake. He wants what's best for him. If you can get that bag, go get that money, young man. But as far as Donovan being the guy, Donovan is kind of injury prone. Honestly, knock on wood, they both kind of get dinged up. When you're running back, that's just what comes with it. But Donovan is a little more injury prone than I'd say Blake is. So him being an every down back, doing the workload like Blake had last year, he's definitely going to get hurt. So I'm sure Harbaugh was ecstatic to have Blake come back, because running back is the type of position that somebody's going to get hurt. And now you got two studs. If Blake would have left, you would have had just Donovan as the stud, that's our guy. But then you would also miss, he's not an every down back yet. He might be. Let's hope he has gotten better. But he wasn't the 3rd and 1 back. He wasn't that. Even though he's bigger than Blake as far as stature, he's not that 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 back, that 4th and 1 back. He's just not. Well, he wasn't last year. He could be this year, but he just wasn't last year. He runs too high. That's what I saw. But yeah, Blake is fast. They just don't watch it. They just don't watch enough Michigan. I know that was long-winded, but I saw the video that you're talking about. That's why I had to elaborate. Stephen Brown, I ain't even finna read your comment, bro. You ain't right. You ain't right. You ain't right, bro. Daniel Chavera says, does it shock you that Harbaugh lost to newcomers like Mel Tucker and Sonny Dykes, since we know that the 49ers would never lose to newcomers and would own them? Well, Mel Tucker's first year, was Mel Tucker's first year, that was the COVID year, wasn't it? That team was just in shambles that COVID year. So now the next year was what's his name? The next year was the running backs, Kenneth Walker III. He just killed us. We should have blew them out that year. And Kenneth Walker III just got in the zone and he just killed us. He single-handedly pretty much beat us I mean, you could say the refs helped too, but whatever. But yeah, Kenneth Walker killed us that year. So you got the COVID year when we were horrible and we're just in shambles. And then you got Kenneth Walker going insane on us. So that was Mel Tucker right there. A year when we were just unbelievably horrible, or believable, however you want to say it. We were just bad. COVID year. And then the next year, Kenneth Walker put on the Superman cape and saved us and got you $10 million. So that's what happened with him. Now, Sonny Dykes, the loss to TCU, I think the team was just a little bit too cocky going into it. Thinking about that 3-3-5, thinking they were just going to be able to run it over and just not prepared. And I think the coaches were a little cocky too, thinking they were going to be able to run it down their throat. You know what I'm saying? And then they had to adjust to the speed and adjust the game plan to, okay, we're going to have to throw that rock and run JJ. And by that time, it was too late. And JJ made those mistakes, but it was just, we got shocked. And then not being able to get a pass rush, it kind of sealed our fate against them with the offense starting so slow. You know what I'm saying? Because when the defense was getting stops, it didn't really matter because JJ gave him 14 points. You know what I'm saying? So that's the losses. Mel Tucker's, it's a wrap for him. He probably won't beat Michigan for a while, honestly. If he's still there, if he can make it that long. He got lucky with COVID and then Kenneth Walker. Now TCU, that was just the perfect storm, I'll say, of coaches being a little too cocky with that we're going to run it down your throat stuff. And then also on defense, us just, we couldn't get a pass rush. We had to blitz. And it bit us in the butt. Max Duggan made enough plays, which he didn't play all that great. He just made enough plays at the right time to burn us. So that's that with the newcomers. You know what I'm saying? So last question, we got Ruko Tomey says, how would you like to see the new divisions break down? I would like Michigan in a division with UCLA, OSU, MSU, Nebraska, Indiana, and Maryland. Honestly, I think they should just stop with the divisions. Still, OSU, Michigan, of course, that has to be played. Michigan State, got to play them for the most part. But to me, just stop the divisions. Because to me, it makes it waters it down like it is now, where whoever wins the West pretty much just gets freight trained by the team in the East. Let it be the two best teams. I mean, that could bite, me saying that could bite us in the butt, and then we beat Ohio State and they only got one loss and they end up having to play us again. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really care for the divisions. I guess with UCLA and with these other teams going, it could make it a little more fair now. I guess if you put US, let's see, who you say? You say UCLA, OSU, MSU, Nebraska, Indiana, and Maryland. That's not a bad division. I wouldn't mind that, honestly, if you're going to keep the divisions. It's just having Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and then don't let Michigan State be good. Now you got these 4 teams in one division, bro. It's just like, bro, this is just too much. Like, why are all these good teams over here? So if they do keep the divisions, they definitely need to be evened out. Throw Penn State on the other side with USC, with Iowa, with Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't mind that, what you said, if we're going to keep the divisions. I wouldn't mind if they stopped them, honestly. But me saying that, I could be biting this in the... But with that being said, it's not going to matter as much because the playoff is expanding. So it wouldn't hurt us if we have to play Ohio State twice. Then you might have to play them again in the playoff. Let's get it. So with it expanding, I wouldn't mind. I probably wouldn't mind them just finished stopping having divisions. Best two teams, the best records play in the Big Ten championship. All right. So, also, Daniel Tavera, you asked me that question about without those big plays, about would Ohio State have won without if we couldn't throw it as good or whatever. And I want to continue on that with my OSU rant at the end of this. It might not have mattered because Michigan and Michigan's defensive coaches in Harbaugh have figured out Ryan Day's offense. I forgot to mention that. Sometimes I get in the rhythm, and I don't be writing stuff down, and I just forget to elaborate on some other stuff. I start ranting and I forget. OSU done scored 50 points the last two games total. And they done scored like 20 in the second half of the last two games, I think. I think they had 14, 17. Three last year, and then I think they had 14 in 2021. So they probably wouldn't have won because they can't seem to score. The high-flying, are you telling me the high-flying, the world-famous Ohio State Buckeyes, they can't seem to score on Michigan like that no more? What's going on? So they probably wouldn't have won because they can't seem to get in that end zone. They can't get in that end zone like that no more. So the question to me is, has Jim Harbaugh and these coaches, have they figured out Ryan Day? The same way Ryan Day knew Don Brown like a children's book. He'd read Don Brown like a children's book. It's like our defensive coaches with NFL pedigree, might I add, seem to be reading Ryan Day like green eggs and ham. Am I making it up? We see the games. They be averaging like 47, 48, 50 points. 2021, they scored 27. 2022, they scored 23. They going down in points, y'all. They going down in points. What's going on? Not Ryan Day, the guy that sends first round quarterback after quarterback. What's going on? So that's the question. Because they can't seem to score like that. Michigan has figured out Ryan Day and his high-flying his 5-star receivers with this 5-star quarterback, his top running back. We seem to figure them out, and we make them look pedestrian. Am I lying? And this is why I question these Ohio State fans. I'm questioning y'all. Are y'all not noticing that we're shutting down your offense? Have y'all not noticed that? Because y'all was cocky when Don Brown was there. Y'all was scoring about 60. I was on here mad. I was yelling, Don Brown, Don Brown. But now he's gone like I said he should be. And we got defensive coordinators that understand, let me put safeties over the top. Let me blitz here and there. Let me run a few zones here and there. But for the most part, I'm keeping my safeties back so that y'all got to dink and dunk. We might give up an explosive play here or there, but we just going to let y'all go. We're going to let y'all get those yards from 20 to 20 so y'all fans still think y'all did something, even though the scoreboard says you didn't. We're still going to let y'all think that CJ had 350, 400, but you're kicking field goals. You're going for it on fourth, and we're grinding the clock, and we're getting touchdowns, and you're getting 0 or you're getting 3. Y'all ain't noticed this? Y'all ain't noticed this yet? OSU fans, y'all ain't noticed it yet because y'all just see the stats and y'all like, he threw for 375. How did we lose? He threw for 425. How did we lose? Well, you're kicking field goals, son. Or you're going for it on fourth and you're getting nothing. You get nothing. Because your coach will get greedy. And then we stop your run game. Your coach don't run it anyway. He don't want to run it anyway, so we'll stop that. Make you one-dimensional, which makes you predictable. Let you get your yards 20 to 20. Then we'll stop y'all in the red zone and ball game. You're kicking field goals. We're getting touchdowns. You're going for it on fourth. You get nothing. So that's my question to the Ohio State fans. Because a lot of y'all seem like y'all don't want Ryan Day to get fired. But have y'all noticed, Brian Hartline's going to be calling the plays. We're going to see how long that's going to last. But, so that bought him more time. But he got y'all figured out. Y'all don't seem to notice that Michigan has figured out your high-flying offense. Because that's what you are now. You're a high-flying, throwing it all over the yard. They got all these 5-star receivers. They've got a 5-star quarterback. Oh, my God, Ryan Day is cooking. He's cooking. Then November comes and, flame went out. The flame went out. We can't cook. There it goes. We cooking. We about to do something. Oh, the flame went out. Oh boy. The flame done went out. They was cooking in the first quarter a little bit. Second quarter, we cooking a little bit. We about to blow them out. Second half come. Oh God, the flame done went out. We ain't cooking. Oh boy, what do we do? Sad face. That's all it is. So that's my question. We realize that Michigan has figured out Ryan Day's offense, but OSU fans, I don't think they done figured it out yet. So they can't run that ball. We make you one-dimensional. Make your quarterback have to be perfect, have to be great. Not just good. Make him have to be great against us, which is very hard to do. Make him have to be great. Since you can't run the ball and you don't want to, we're going to make your quarterback have to be great. And he ain't been that. CJ's gone. Who's their quarterback now? Nobody knows. Is it Devin Brown? Is it Kyle McCord? Honestly, I probably want it to be Kyle McCord because he's not as mobile as Devin Brown. I don't like having to deal with a runner like CJ Stroud. He made it easy. He wasn't going to run, even though he could. So I'd rather have a guy that's more of a pocket passer than somebody that's a scrambler and a loose cannon can use his legs. But that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? The book is out on y'all. I've been saying it. Just like I said it before the game this year. Said it before the game. Hold them to 23, 25, something like that. They said it couldn't be done. I laid out the blueprint exactly on how to do that, and they executed it flawlessly. I'm on YouTube. You think these NFL caliber coaches can't figure out the offense also? Something to think about. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. Whew, that was a lot, but we got through it. So, like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine.